Hi Pisces, this is Kay. You're on the Collective Soul Tarot channel. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to your reading. Let's begin. Please like and subscribe if it resonates, and thank you for watching the video. I sure hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a great weekend. So let's find out what Archangel Michael would like you to know today. What does Archangel Michael want Pisces to know today? Soul retrieval. Oh, that's deep. Soul retrieval. Well, I'll get the book because we will have a look at that in a minute. All right, what is the major arcana that wants to speak to soul retrieval for Pisces today? The Chariot energy. So soul retrieval, so you can go zoom, zoom, zoom. Continue your struggle and the end you seek will be achieved. Honor, acclaim, and recognition are all possible outcomes for you if you do not quit. Okay. There is something you're struggling with that you are going to be able to bring some sort of resolution to and keep on going. Just like if you're, let's say, your car is running out of gas and it's going chug, 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 chug. And you can't make it to the gas station, but it's not that far away. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Boy, that keeps coming out. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, destiny and just moving forward in the direction, the path, the meaningful, purposeful path that you're meant to right now at this time. So you can make it to the gas station. You can walk. It might take a little while, but you can walk to the gas station. You don't even have a jerry can. It's not something you ever think about, right? But the gas station, turns out, they've got a jerry can that they loan out. You might pay a deposit for it. There's the mountain. Know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. Well, there's definitely something that's you're bumping up against. And so you get to the gas station, you get a jerry can loaned out for $10, something like that. You get $10 worth of gas and you walk back. You fill it up and then you're on your way. You're on your way. So you had two obstacles. You ran out of gas, and then, or three obstacles. You ran out of gas, so you're not moving along on the trajectory, the path that you were meant, that you were planning to go on, that you were on. And the gas station's not that far away, but it's at a distance that's going to take you a bit to walk, so you're going to have to commit to that. And there's no other traffic that's going to stop for you or anything like that. And the third one is that you don't have a way to bring gas back to your car. Well, the first one is that the car is out of gas, so the solution is to get gas. The second one is that the gas station, there is one down the road, but you're going to have to walk, so you got to commit to that. So that problem is solved. But it's one thing to get gas, to need gas, and to know where it is. It's another thing to be able to get it back to where you need to put it, right? And it turns out that because you commit to getting out of your car and saying, I can't do this, I can't go any further, so I'm going to have to get out of the car and find a way to get to where I need to go. And in this case, it just means that you got to go and get some gas, because no one's going to pick you up and take you to where it is you're going. And so you get to the gas station, it turns out, lo and behold, because you commit to it, you commit to the walk, you take the risk, the chance, whatever, you get there and find out that you can actually rent a jerry can, and they've got gas, so now you're back, you're walking back to your car, you're filling it up, and away you go, and you drop the jerry can off, and you get your $10 back or something like that, so it's all good. But it was a mountain. It was a mountain of a challenge for you right here, and it was the struggle that had you standing still for a bit, not being able to progress, to move forward in your life. So let's find out what tarot can tell us. Wheel of Fortune. The World. Wow, we got the World and the Wheel of Fortune right beside each other. cool. And then the Four of Pentacles. Father of Wands is the King of Wands. The first thing I thought of that came into my mind, Archangel Michael, thank you very much, is that you are ending a chapter in your life, like you're ending the example of being able to be behind the wheel and zooming along. That had to end. That had to stop because there was like a hiccup on this path, and that was that you're going to run out of gas. You know, running out of gas has its own meaning, that we're just not taking care enough of ourselves, enough care for ourselves, that we're not resting and rejuvenating when we need to. We're just kind of go, and at that point we're running on fumes. Yeah, and then we're not really getting anywhere. It's because we're spinning our wheels and we're not getting too far, because you can't really run far on fumes. So the first thing that I thought of when I saw this is that you have the challenge of wanting to hang on of what is, instead of letting go to what can be. What you hang on to what is, and are challenged with actually making the decision to get out of the car and take a walk to the gas station. And it's to others, it seems like it's a no-brainer, that you just like, you got to do it. I mean, what else are you going to do? You might be thinking, well, I'll just wait until somebody else comes along. Maybe they'll share some gas with me, siphoning, or maybe they'll pick me up and take me to the gas station. And you find out by that trial and error kind of strategy that no one's stopping. First of all, there's barely any traffic on the road that you happen to be on, and any traffic that comes by, they don't stop. They're like, take care of it yourself, buddy, kind of thing, right? So you are someone who might be hanging on to whatever it is that you value, right? You value and this simple life, because it's only the Four of Pentacles instead of like the 9 and the 10 and so forth and so on. The 8 of Pentacles that sees you working and mastering a new way forward. The Four of Pentacles is kind of like you're hanging on to what you value, because it's simple for you. It's a simpler life for you. And I'm not saying you're simple, please. I'm not saying that at all. It's just that life is, it's not convoluted. It doesn't have a lot of, you're not dealing with all these, you don't have your finger in 10,000 different pots. Things are simple. Your friends are simple. It's just you only got so many friends, and you have this one boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband. It's simple. It's quietly simple. And there's not much rumble. I'm content with, you think you're content and comfortable in familiar surroundings. You may not be someone who is too adventurous in the sense of taking on change, accepting change. Okay, so then the Father of Wands comes along, the King of Wands comes along. This energy, this guy here is all about change. Then we have the Father of Cups. This guy here is all about love. Deep, 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 deep love. King of Cups, King of Wands. Wow. The Mother of Wands. Oh my goodness. We got, a counterpart, matching energies here of the yin and the yang. Mother, Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands energies are out. With the Ten of Swords. Ooh, that's not good. The Nine of Wands. Whew. That walk up the staircase to, to better times. Enlightenment, right? To better times and easier ways and harmony and all that is littered with pokey branches. Yeah, that's you having tried it, and you might have won, to some degree, but it's only like, it doesn't get you as far as it could get you if you're able to really pursue something without all the struggles and the challenges. Now, I have to tell you, this is the Five of Wands. I have to tell you that when we don't allow ourselves to expand, in Pisces, you would probably know this very, very well. If you don't allow yourself to expand, what you end up doing is creating I don't know, some kind of, vortex, not a vortex, but a vacuum. That's it, some kind of vacuum. And of course, we don't live in a vacuum. Don't live in a vacuum. We're constantly, people are coming into our sphere, we're going into their sphere, and just constantly things are changing. Even if it doesn't look like on the surface, we're still changing. We just might be doing it at a snail's pace, because we like the familiar. We like the familiar. So then the turtle is faster than the snail, right? Turtle is faster than the snail. So you at least are being asked to step into the turtle's energy of, I'm methodical, I am consistent, I'm dedicated, I'm responsible, and I am determined, and I'm going to win this race. That kind of thing, okay? So then we have the Ace of Swords with this brand new beginning in life for you, a new path that you're going to be seeking what truly makes you happy, makes you sing. Oh my God. Then we have the Mother of Cups. So it's the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. So Queen and King of Wands, Queen and King of Cups. That is very weird. The Chariot, holy smokes. The Chariot's out second time around. That's big energy. Got the Eight of Cups. And then on the back for your future is the Three of Swords energy, the Emperor energy, and the Ten of Pentacles energy. Holy moly. And we got we don't need another king. But we have the collaboration card, the Three of Pentacles collaboration card. You know what? Well, I'm not even going to bring them in unless it just seems like it is appropriate. And we'll bring this one out. This the Sun card too. So they're kind of in, but they're not in. Okay, can you see that? They're kind of in, but they're not in. So I was going to look at. Did I look at Soul Retrieval? Did I read that already? Oh my goodness, I don't even remember if I read it. I think I did. Didn't I? I think I read it. Okay, let's see. Oh, for goodness sakes. Maybe I didn't because I can't even find it now. Let's look. Soul Retrieval. Card page 78. I bet you I didn't read it. No, I didn't read it. This card can appear for two reasons. Firstly, because a lost part of your soul is wanting to return home to you. Sometimes the loss, shame, or hurt we experience is too great and part of our soul leaves our body. When this happens, it can feel like part of us is missing and as if we're not quite ourselves. And that speaks to what I'm saying is that you're staying in a particular paradigm, at a particular level, a dimension, whatever it is, of enlightenment. You're staying there because it's familiar to you and you don't even give it a second thought to expand, to move on, to go above, to go higher, to become more of who you truly are, so that your soul, when you retrieve your soul, you're more whole. You're not whole, you're not divided. Okay, so when this happens, it can feel like part of us is missing or if we're not quite ourselves. Secondly, it can be because your soul is trying to get your attention. Perhaps you've been spending too much time living from your head rather than your heart. Maybe your soul is longing for you to listen to it, to express it, to spend time with it. That's where all these challenges come from, by the way. When we are listening to our soul and we're living to expand ourselves, to become more whole, which is about becoming more enlightened, more expansive, like opening ourselves up to more love, to more life, to more experiences, because that's what we're here for in the first place. We're not here to kind of hide underneath a rock and say, just let me know when it's over, It's not about that. It's about coming out of our shell, basically, and become the one that we came here to become. We came here to become someone. Pisces, you know that. We came here to become who we are. Our true self, in the sense of what our personality is wired for, let's say. The personality body. What the body and the personality is wired for to experience in the 3D realm. Like on this planet, in this physical world, what will we achieve? What goals will we have? What will we pursue as a personality body personality? That the whole, if you're the soul looking to come into a body, into life on, planet Earth, it's going to choose the body, the family dynamics and all that, that's going to give it a chance to even grow more, so to remember truly who it is, right? Truly who it is. So that it doesn't have to be in the dream anymore. It doesn't have to come into this life. Because if we're not clear about this being all about learning to remember who we are, then we just keep, doing our life and coming back and doing another life, coming back and doing another life, and so forth and so on. But until we wake up to the realization that we're coming here to do our lives, but for a meaningful purpose, and that is to wake up. For us to wake up to our soul's purpose, the soul's purpose is to learn, to know, to become who it truly is, to wake up itself in the sense that it's much more powerful than this body personality has been allowing it to be. And so that is the creator, right? And so when the body personality gets in line with the heart, the soul, the mind, the mind and the heart are linked together now, working together. That is when the soul is able to grow and heal the forgetfulness of what the veil means to all of us, right? That it starts remembering little by little that there's more to this life than just doing what we do in the physical world, go to work, get our education, go to work, have relationships and all this, work for retirement and all this sort of stuff. There's more to this life than just that. And so the soul starts wising up, so to speak, and it says, holy cow, I'm starting to remember who I am. I'm starting to thank you, body personality, for helping me do this, because we become in tune to the idea that our soul is trying to get our attention. So I need to pay attention to my soul and see what my soul is trying to teach me about its expansiveness. And the soul, as you get online with it, your ego gets online with the spirit, the mind and the heart get in line together. The two of you are working in tandem, and now you are becoming like you're becoming whole to the point where your soul starts saying, I believe this reality isn't our true reality. And if that's the case, I know that I can live this life to the point where I can become enlightened and know that I am not of this world. I might be in it, but I'm not of it. To the point where I can grow enough in my enlightenment in this one lifetime and look at this life from a totally different perspective and start living my life from that new perspective, that this is not the end, and that this is not only all we have, that there's so much more to us as one, right? So much more to us, that when I finally let go of this body, my soul is released from the dream. And it never has to ever experience itself again in a physical body under the veil of forgetfulness ever again. And that is the mission in life that God has us for. That it's God's purpose for us, is to retrieve that soul wisdom okay, to make us whole, so that our mind and our hearts are working in tandem and rising above the whole illusion that this is all we've got. Yeah, you might believe that you might be a believer that there's God and the soul and everything, but this is going to take you even more above that knowing that there's a God and that you have a soul and this stuff. It's going to wake you up to the realization that this is not something that God would have you do. This life, this physical life, would not be anything God would have you do, because God doesn't do anything. God is at peace. It's stillness, right? Doesn't do anything. You would slip back into, you'd be absorbed back into the mind of stillness, and then in oneness. You'd be absorbed back into the mind of still. Right here, this is duality, in the mind of duality, living on planet Earth. Because there's always black and white, whatever. There's duality. Then you slip into the mind of stillness, which is like right-mindedness, thinking right-minded, like you're right-minded now. Anyone in their right mind would know this, that, and the other thing, right? Well, you become right-minded. And as you slip more and more into the right-mindedness perspective, that you see what all of this is all about, you start, really, literally being absorbed into one-mindedness. And then you are no more in a physical body. And if you want to be in a physical body, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, I have to say, Pisces, it's not meant for you. It's not meant for you. This tarot, who's ever watching this, it's a Pisces, or your moon, Venus, or rising. What's meant for you is much more bigger than this. Okay, much more expansive and powerful. You will become an absolute creator of your life in the manifesting sense, but also in the knowledge and wisdom sense. That you're just going to know things that you never knew before, and so many other people don't know. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be enlightened, right? So it's an amazing trip. What can I say? And I am working on it, but there's still more work to go. So here we got, this is what I wanted to tell you, is that you are being asked to retrieve your wholeness. Then by not being in your whole self, by not integrating your spirit wisdom into your body personality, your ego, the one that walks the planet, right, and makes decision to paint your room pink or paint it black, that kind of that you're of the world, okay? You're in it and of it as the body personality. As a spirit, you may be in it, but you really aren't. You're knowing this, right? You're understanding this, but it appears to be that you're in it, but you're definitely not of it. Okay, so whenever you're not thinking with that symbiotic type of connection with your heart, your spirit, all sorts of mountains, all sorts of challenges crop up in front of you. Like your car runs out of gas, and you're pretty sure you had enough gas when you left to make it to, from point A to point B. You knew it, but something happened, and you by some weird thing, you ended up running out of gas anyways. So there's always going to be challenges and struggles to face. However, the more you are being absorbed into right-mindedness, the less of those challenges and struggles show up in your life. And the ones that do show up, they're like little hills. They're not mountains. They're little hills. And it could be that, like, for example, maybe your, and this likely won't ever happen, but your child gets into a car accident. They're alive, but they are, maybe broke their leg and they're unconscious, that kind of thing. So they're in the hospital. And so you're like praying, by her side and all this sort of stuff. Well, when you're there and you're being absorbed into right-mindedness, you don't freak out like the way you would have if you're not. If you're still in this whole idea of being of and in and of this world, you're going to be freaking out, worried about the worst, thinking, oh, is she ever going to be able to ski again? She's going to be able to dance. She's going to be able to walk. Is she going to wake up? You know, and you're fretting and all this sort of stuff, and it's like really stressful on you. Very, very stressful. Terribly stressful. You cry, you know, you just like, you don't, why is this happening to my child? You know, this kind of thing, like it's beyond you. But when you're seeing things more from the spirit perspective, seeing the purpose and the meaning behind it, is that it's teaching you how to bring your stillness in. And I'm pretending this is her in the bed, okay? Bringing your stillness in. You come in to visit her, right? You bring your stillness in. Bring it in, and you talk to her even though she's not conscious. You talk to her and say, honey, I'm so glad you're okay. You know, we hope that things get better for you very, very soon, but I'm just so glad I'm here and I can hold your hand. You can feel me holding your hand. You know, just wake up when you need to wake up. We're here. We're always here. We love you dearly. I'm just so thankful to God that you're here. You know, you bring that stillness in, that peace, right? And because we are in our own little worlds, our aura, right? Our aura, because everything is energy. Everything, including the spirit in this dream, is energy. We share that energy of stillness, of peace, with everyone else around us. That we touch they're large, because our auras are very large, okay? We touch each other's auras. So as you bring your stillness and peace to her bedside, you're actually helping her heal. When you bring anxiety, stress, and depression, and crying, and just worry, and concern, and like not knowing if it's all going to work out for you, you bring that into her bedside, her wounds won't heal as quickly as you actually might be delaying the healing if you're spending an inordinate amount of time with her, around her. So you understand what I'm saying. You get yourself in a right-minded way of thinking where you know that things aren't as they seem, that there's more to this than just the 3D world, living life as the mind body, you know, the personality body, going to work, school, and all this sort of stuff. There's more to it than this. And you bring that knowingness in, that makes you feel peaceful. When you get that wisdom, you start feeling peaceful. Peaceful, and it helps you to still your mind so that you're not, you know, just like in the 8 of Swords or the 9 of Swords energy, just ruminating, what if, what if, what if, what if, you know, that kind of thing. So this is what happens if you continue to choose to stay in that limiting energy of what you value, which is familiarity, contentment, and just having things not change, okay? That's when mountains shoot up into your life and other challenges and struggles that you could be avoiding right now, or they just become little tiny. I mean, we can deal with this. This is so easy to deal with this. It's when it's like this that it's difficult to deal with. Okay, so the whole idea here is for you to be able to take the challenge of moving forward on your destined path with the Wheel of Fortune, which brings all sorts of prosperity and abundance in your life as well. Okay, that's peripheral. The idea is to become to follow your destiny, to find the wisdom within you to do that. Now, the King of Wands and the King of Cups, if this is what this energy is, it's about being in the energy of a doer and a lover. Okay, this is mind and this is heart. You've got the doer and lover energy as the king, and now the king is the top of the tarot card suits. Why, I don't know, the queen isn't considered, but for some reason the king is in the tarot. But these, you know, the tarot was created a long time ago. What, in the 16th century? Something like that. Maybe even the 14th century. I don't even know. It was a long time ago. You know, they didn't really think of women as equals. So when you're in the king energy, you are the doer. You're the one that's taking control and taking charge of your challenges and loving and using your wisdom, your love to see your way through it. Okay? Then you start finding a balance in your doing energy where you are so integrated. You have both the yin and the yang of the doing energy, the wand energy in you, so balanced, just right on cue kind of thing. You know exactly when to take action, exactly what to do, and exactly when to take action. It's kind of like the intuition thing, right? You're integrating your whole qualities of being passionately pursuing something. And then when you do that, you see life's little sabotages or large sabotages, large mountains that have otherwise you've seen yourself left for dead with many swords in your back. That is moving you out of that energy where it is something that is causing you to be tripped up, right? With the Nine of Wands. In this card, it talks about, you see the stairs with the wands and all the branches on it. That would trip you up going up those stairs, right? It's what the energy of being kind of staying in the old stagnant energy, being left for dead. That's neither here nor there for you, because when it's 10, it's the end. You're on a new path now. It's a new beginning for you. And you're going to be in that energy of just give me one more step and I swear I'll get it. just give me one more step, like one more chance, and I'm going to get it. This is a doer energy, right? The wounded warrior, the one who's been beat down, left for dead, and with all the challenges that has come in your life because you haven't been able to integrate your soul, or you are in the midst of doing it, okay? And then your challenges become fewer. See, you go from 9 of Wands to 5 of Wands, and you're not arguing with yourself so much anymore. Am I of it or am I in it? Which is it? Am I of it or am I in it? You know, or you're arguing with other people about stuff, you know. Maybe you were in let's just say you were on a trip with somebody and they're giving you the gears. Well, how come you didn't make sure we had gas? You know, and you're arguing and fighting about, I did. I don't know why I ran out. I was supposed to have enough gas. I checked it. I fueled up. I did. And they're saying you couldn't have. You know, that kind of thing. So then the Ace of Swords. This is about, you know, it's your inner conflict, your own fight with trying to find a way to go along with change and out of your familiarity is lessening here. Then the Divine says, oh, you've been doing some really great work, Pisces. I have got a new red carpet for you to walk. And it's all about you following your peace, all about you following your truth, all about you realizing, and which is remembering who you really are. And you're not this personality body walking this planet. That is just like a puppet or a doll for a while that the soul has been, in charge of, but the body, the ego was so strong that the soul, because it whispers, the soul whispers. The ego is loud. So when fear is what is at the reins of the chariot, right? Fear is at the reins, which is ego. The soul has to stay, not stay silent, but unheard. Let's put it that way. The soul remains unheard, while the ego is loudly driving the chariot like a maniac, okay? So then we are definitely allowing for the soul to have its say. We're listening to the soul. What comes in then is this perfect integrated balance between Mother and Father cup, Mother or Queen and King of Cups, of love. Totally integrated. So you're not just a lover, that it loves deeply as a king, you know, not really speaking it, just maybe knowing it, knowing you feel that way. You're actually like this, she's got her wing out, right? I offer you my cup. So now you're loving your life. You're offering love in your life. You're offering spirit in your life. You're saying, Spirit fills my cup. Spirit fills my cup, and then my cup is to be given, to be offered, right? The Chariot then. Now, I know who's behind the reins, who's got a hold of the reins. It's not ego. It's not loud ego. It's quiet soul. It's stillness. It's peace. I am very peacefully and happily, with joy in my heart, as it's growing, right? It's growing more and more. You are now very gently tapping the backs of your horses, and they're trotting along. And like the turtle space, where you got this other person, the ego, you know, they're big in their ego, and they're like, yeah, let's go, yeah, let's go, and they're race by you, right? So that's the hare, that's the ego, the reins of their chariot. Well, you got your chariot, you just, you know, very, very peacefully trotting along, your horse trotting along, and they start having these weird thoughts. Like the ego starts having this weird thought that, hey, you know, did we just go by a cherry tree? You know, why don't we stop and have some delicious ripe cherries? You know, so they're stopping there. Oh, we got lots of time to do that. In the meantime, you go by, but you might be going by just slightly off the track where they can't really see you going by. I mean, you're going by, and because they went off the track, you're on the track, okay, you're on the track, because that's the whole idea. You're on the track. They kind of went off the track and stopped where they might have saw a cherry tree. So their horses are chowing down on cherry trees as they are, and they're getting all mucked up in cherry juice, and you know, they just become a mess, and then they say, oh, we got to get back to the race, you know. So away they go. So forth and so on. I love that story. But you're deciding, you know what? I have invested so much of my values into this life of, well, could be considered mediocrity, right? But this life of just being content with what I've got. I don't need to go any further. I don't need to expand. I'm good with just what is, you know, I'm good with what is. But you're going to decide, because the urge, the call is going to be so great, Pisces. The call is going to be so great that you're going to, you're going to be begging for change. Because if you don't listen, heed the call, this happens. Three of Swords. Three of Swords, well, you know what the Three of Swords is? It's all a lot of heartbreak and pain that you could have avoided. And as the Emperor, the one that creates empires, he says, oh, heck no, I'm not doing this anymore. This is where I'm going. I am creating a life of doing, and doing in balance, right, and feeling in balance, with the wands and the hearts here. A passionate new life, a passionate life full of love, and legacy, with the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, you are on a course of, like I said, prosperity and abundance with the Wheel of Fortune. It's all about, first of all, knowing that you have a destiny to pursue. So when you get in your car next time, make sure you got lots of gas, because you got a place that you need to go. Okay, and be clear about that. Even if you have to buy yourself a jerry can and put it in the trunk, do it. Okay, so just with some gas in it, just a little bit of gas, and take it out when you get home. All right. But in any case, when you follow your destiny, you are turning the wheel to all this third 3D worldly stuff of prosperity and abundance. Okay, that is what you're going to be like. You just open your hand and plop, it goes in. Open your hand and that shows up like that. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's the energy. The energy is that you're going to be deciding as an Emperor energy, because now you're all four kings, Remember, the king is like the top dude of the tarot suits. All 4 kings in one right here. And you're going to be working with spirit and others to be living the life that says, I'm so grounded, but I'm so high too at the same time. I am grounded and I'm in touch with my, my emotions, my love that's going from cold to warmest. I'm in touch with my, the highest value, let's just say. Because you got some values here, but you're going to be in touch with new values that is going to see you juggling your energy to the point where you're blossoming, you're expanding, you're managing well. You're learning to be in this world and this other unseen ethereal world, spirit world. You're going to be able to be in this world, but also not of it. Okay, at the same time, managing that, balancing it, juggling it very successfully, and also happily. And this is the ultimate. That's what the divine says. The divine says that the ultimate thing that we all want as human beings is to be happy, to live a happy life, right? And sometimes we've got to work with others in order to be able to find that happiness. Where was this? Yeah, work with others and bring spirit on board as well. That's your heart, right? Listening to your heart, that you're going to be able to manage the wisdom that you're gaining from knowing that this personality body that walks is not all there is. There is so much more to you. And if you've already expanded to some degree, if you really truly believe that there is a God and that you have a soul, right? And that the God that you believe in is in your soul. Okay, you've really expanded to that, but you need to take it more, higher than that. The higher knowledge is that although we want to make this to be a very, very important life experience, this life is so important, my relationships are so important, you want to do that, and you go ahead and do that. You put all your importance into these things, but with the number one knowing, the wisdom that the most important thing is that you are the creator of your life, this one that you find yourself in. And that even though you created this from the idea of wanting to be something that you can't possibly be, because God cannot be form. God is not form. So, and form comes with fear, automatically comes with fear, which is the ego. That's the body personality. God would not be a body personality because God in its wholeness is oneness, for one thing, and there's definitely more than one of us here, is oneness. And secondly, it's still. Whereas in form, there's all our atoms that are going like this. That's not stillness at all. So God in its wholeness, in its oneness, cannot possibly be this, because if it was this, it wouldn't be God. I hope this was helpful to you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.